as a CEO, I not only have skin in the game, but each of the directors have skin in the game as well, including our chairman, who has more than $3 million invested in the company.
Welcome to the NAI 500 CEO interview program, where the senior management from select listed companies will share their insights with the audience about their company's growth potential. In this episode, we had the opportunity to speak to Thomas Smeenk, the CEO and co-founder of Hemostemix, a TSXV venture-listed company with a trading symbol of HEM. Hemostemix is a biotech company focused on stem cell therapy. A few highlights our audience should know before watching the interview. Hemostemix's core technology platform ACP01 is expandable and is pioneering approach to a treatment of ischemic diseases. The company has 91 patents issued worldwide. Hemostemix's lead product ACP01 is undergoing a phase 2 clinical trial for critical limb ischemia, and the result will be coming up in Q3. The company is led by experienced board and management team plus proven scientific advisory board. The company had a strong run in the beginning of the year, trading above 50 cents, but since then has come down steadily and stabilized at 20 cents level during the summertime. If you enjoy our video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay alert of our future content. Hi, Thomas. How are you doing today?
Very well, Gilbert. How are you?
Yeah, same here. Just new normal, living a new normal life here.
Indeed. Yes, working 24 hours and 7 days a week.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us here today. I understand that you are one of the co-founders of the company Hemostemix.
Yes.
Maybe you give us a bit of an overview and background about the company.
Sure. So Hemostemix started in 2003 in Israel. At the time, discovered that there were stem cells circulating in the patient's blood, and they were able to take the raw blood and turn it into 3 different stem cell lines. One's called ACP, second one is NCP, and the third is BCP. ACP has been used in approximately 500 patients for conditions such as heart disease, lung disease, and peripheral arterial disease. Essentially, this is treating ischemia where it occurs in the body using the patient's own stem cells very effectively.
So can you explain a little bit more in layman terms how your technology work there?
We take essentially a cup of blood from the patient's arm and fractionate that into its constituent parts. We take what's called the synergetic cell population from that blood, and we culture that in the patient's own blood serum and grow approximately up to 200 million of the patient's own stem cells. They're differentiated into what's called an ACP, an angiogenic cell precursor, or an NCP, neuronal cell precursor, or bone cell precursor. And the ACPs have been used by cardiologists to treat ailments such as angina or ischemic cardiomyopathy, what we would normally refer to as hardening of the arteries, or thickening of the heart wall, dilated cardiomyopathy, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, shortness of breath in the lungs, as well as idiopathic pulmonary hypertension, and vascular dementia. So these are all ischemia-based diseases.
So what are the various applications? You probably just mentioned it earlier. Was that mainly focusing on right now on the ischemia sort of application?
Yes, so we have done a number of trials. The first one was a 24-patient trial of angina, and we were able to demonstrate that that someone that had severe angina, essentially chest pain at rest, was able to reverse that into chest pain only at exercise. there were 17 patients of the 24 that were followed up at 6 months, and we're able to demonstrate a whole decrease in their level of angina as measured by the Canadian Cardiovascular Score. We're also able to demonstrate an increase in their ability to walk in a set distance in 6 minutes. That was followed up by a trial of critical limb ischemia patients where diabetics end up losing circulation to the toes, feet, and legs. And we had 6 patients treated with ACP. 5 of those 6 patients saved their limb from otherwise amputation. That was followed up by 20 patients in a randomized trial. 10 received ACP, 10 received a placebo. The 10 who received ACP, there were no deaths, and 7 of 10 saved their limbs from amputation. In the placebo arm, there were 2 deaths and 6 of 8 limbs lost to amputation. So, and that was followed by a study of heart disease where 41 patients for ischemic and dilated cardiomyopathy were treated by a thoracic surgeon, a co-founder of the Minnesota Heart Institute. And he was able to demonstrate a whole decrease in the NYHA classification of their heart disease. And again, demonstrating that heart disease could be reversed with ACP, as not only demonstrated by the NYHA classification decrease, but also by the improvement in the heart's ability to pump blood. That measurement is called the ejection fraction. And so he was able to demonstrate a 25% improvement in ejection fraction of these patients who were NYHA class 3 and class 4. And this had not really been done before. So that's the sort of the body of evidence. We've also treated some 400 compassionate cases for these various ailments, and the clinical outcomes are astonishing. I spent several hours with 5 patients in Florida who were treated some 13 years ago up to 7 years ago, who are alive today because of their ACP treatment. They would not otherwise be alive. And this is for ailments, again, of ischemic cardiomyopathy, vascular dementia. An 87-year-old woman described to me how at age 80, she was ready to be committed to a long-term care facility because she couldn't manage day-to-day living decisions and was losing her short-term memory. At 87, now 7 years later, still driving a car, living with her husband who's 91, was able to talk about her career and her the 14 years that she stopped working to raise her family. She was able to discuss the neurocognitive exams that she had 6 months apart from each other, and this just conversationally, not that she was prompted, but that she had the ability to recall, that type of detail, and it was very impressive. So it's a very to me, that's all the proof I need. Of course, we have to go through the phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials, and we are rebooting the company to do exactly that in each one of the stem cell lines that we own.
Seems like quite a promising indications in there in some of your initial tests there. And Thomas, we all know on the investor point of view, doing R&D work can be quite capital intensive. So how are you going to finance all these activities? Do you have any partners that you're working with as well?
So we've predominantly financed the company in the public market, and we just announced last night another raise of $1,250,000 at a $12 million market cap. I'll admit, which is a significant investment opportunity for risk-on investors. So I'm investing again in this round. I've invested in each of the previous rounds. And I'm going to high net worth individuals, family offices, and will finance the company through the clinical trial phase that way, We're also going out this fall institutionally to raise a larger round. That announcement will follow the closing of this round, and in that way we'll have the capital to not only close out the current clinical trial, but start a clinical trial in heart disease.
That's how we call it, by saying the management team have the skin in the game. So finally, what investors should be looking for from Hemostemix in the next 6 to 12 months? Is there any what kind of catalysts they will be looking for?
So I do want to just go back to your skin in the game point, because as a CEO, I not only have skin in the game, but each of the directors have skin in the game as well, including our chairman, who has more than $3 million invested in the company. What you'll see moving forward really are a number of announcements. We have a very exciting fall and a series of announcements coming with respect to NCP, the closing out of the ACP current clinical trial. You'll see, as I mentioned, an institutional level of round of financing announced, and the setup of some business arrangements that enable the company to move forward rather than sequentially in each of the medical indications, in parallel in each of the medical indications.
So it looks like some exciting times ahead of you, Thomas. Thank you again for joining us here for the interview today.
Thank you very much, Gilbert. My pleasure.
Thank you. If you enjoy our video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay alert of our future content.